A wise man once said, "Sticks and stones might break my bones, but words are ghosts, and that's what haunts me for sure." I know you're probably wondering how mere words could have such power over your life, but the truth is, words are more powerful than you'd think. If you didn't know, words or speech could easily determine whether a person will end up poor or rich. On today's agenda, we'll be comparing how exactly the rich people talk against the poor. You'll be surprised to learn a few no-no words that might help secure your financial future. So stay tuned, as today on Practical Wisdom, we'll be exploring how rich people talk as compared to poor people. 1. Poor people talk with the "I can't" mentality. The difference between most rich and poor people is based mainly on their thinking. You should ask yourself, what's the first thought that crosses your mind when faced with a challenging situation? If the thoughts at the back of your mind says, "I'm a loser," telling you you can't do it, then you need to do a serious audit on your mentality. Just like the infamous philosophers discovered, the theory of the half-full, half-empty glass is similar in such a scenario. To become rich, you first need to change your thinking and develop a pattern similar to that of a rich man. Many of us don't realize that these affluent tycoons out here were mere ordinary citizens before succeeding. What kept them going was their strong ambition and mindset. Because of such great men, today we're privileged to experience the art-crafted work of developer Bill Gates. Even after failing severally, Bill Gates never lost hope in his dream, which eventually became a reality. Poor people have clouded their judgment based on their current situation, refusing to see the bigger picture. You never know what a simple "I will try again" can get you until you do it. The catch here is that we need to see and think outside the box, meaning you scrap the word "can't" from your vocabulary for good. Once your mind starts proclaiming success, you'll find it easier to outmaneuver through the thickest situations in life. The truth is that the poor are always complaining without knowing complaints get you nowhere. Better yet, try proclaiming success and embracing success as part of you and see how things will change for the better. What you perceive with the mouth is what you bind yourself to. So next time, be careful what you say, because you just might get what you're looking for. Remember, the brain is sophisticated and is engineered to embrace important tasks as compared to other information. By accepting a challenge, you put your mind in a situation where it will focus all its ability to achieve the task at hand until it's complete. 2. Poor people talk like they know everything. Arrival symptom is a condition whereby an individual feels satisfied with their knowledge. In case they're challenged with credible information, they would blow things out of proportion without considering the facts. If you ever find yourself in a situation where you are always right, then you're already in trouble. It's only a foolish man who might think that they know everything, and in real sense, they know absolutely nothing at all. Rich people are considered smarter than poor people because they know when to keep quiet and listen. Everybody is a teacher in their own unique way, and even if you might know something that I don't, that doesn't necessarily mean that we are illiterate, but shows how important it is to ask upon what you don't know. If you have a thought, take your time to ponder upon it, and if it still doesn't become clear, ask again until you find someone who will explain it in a language you best understand. Ever wonder why the boss consults with his workers? This is probably the reason we can't know everything. We all need to develop a curious mindset where the mind will be in a constant puzzle of understanding and implementing the lesson wherever applicable. Don't be afraid to ask. Even when you don't get an answer, ask someone else. It doesn't hurt at all. 3. Rich people believe it's never too late to set a new goal. Unlike the poor man who says, "I'm too old to achieve something," the rich man has a different belief. Just from listening to rich people talk, you can feel the hope and certainty within them. For example, a 70-year-old rich individual still has plans for the future, and the strong belief they have is one to envy. The poor, on the other hand, has set an expiration date for getting things done and setting new goals. This is where many fail without even realizing it. Being 50 years old is only a number as long as you're alive and kicking. You can't just decide that the life you are living is impossible to change, even if you wasted the past decades or two of your life. Once you stop believing, you are doomed, and only a stubborn poor man does that to themselves. You must learn how to embrace life for what it is, and as long as you have another day to live, keep planning for that brighter future you've always wanted for yourself. 4. I don't have time. The Z generation is popularly known for being the busiest of all other generations. Their time is always occupied doing something. The big question, however, is what they're doing beneficial to them, though. Honestly, Gen Zs do a lot of insignificant things that occupy their time without giving great results. This is just like poor people who have no time whatsoever to rest during the weekend or even get a hobby. When asked why they don't attend events, you'd probably hear them wallow about how preoccupied they are and just don't have time. On the other hand, The rich always seem to have time on their hands to do lots of other things. This is because they learned a new way to speak. Rather than list up a million reasons why they can't attend social events, they learned how to say I can make time for that. And by doing so, they perfected the art of delegating tasks, only picking the tasks that are most productive to them or their businesses. By doing so, they escape the poor people's trap of being a busyness addict. 5. Rich people talk about risk-taking as something admirable. Risk-taking is fundamental to life, and until you take the risk, you'll never know what the outcome would have been. For a poor man, risk-taking is something dangerous, and one to be avoided at all costs. You'll hear them finding excuses on why to avoid taking a business risk, while our rich population, on the other hand, talks about risk as an opportunity to achieve something great. If you've listened to any rich man's success story, then you can attest to this. The rich love something risky, something uncertain but promising, and plunge themselves wholeheartedly without fear. What I've discovered is that the poor population expects instant gratification and expects to enjoy the fruits without putting in the work. That's why the rich keep getting richer by day. To succeed in any field, you need to embrace these risks and take them without fear of losing anything and without regret. Until the poor understand this, the wide gap between the two social classes will only keep growing wider by the day. 6. Poor people are always complaining. Walk up to any table at an event, and I bet you, in just 5 minutes, you'll be able to tell apart the rich from the poor. Simply look for anyone who whines about anything. They'll complain about how long the working hours have become while the pay remains the same. Yet, none of them will ever dare to look for other opportunities away from their usual ones. They'll complain about the weather, the leaders, and even the services offered to them at certain rates, unlike the rich who've mastered the art of avoiding complaints. This doesn't mean that they never feel like something is wrong or they received unsatisfactory services for the rates offered. No way, they just prefer to be the problem solvers rather than being the complainers. This helps them see opportunities where they can offer potential customers better services at good rates. They simply use those shortcomings of other businesses and leaders to make a good buck from it. 7. They are lucky, and I am not mentality. The greatest destroyer of wealth is thinking that wealth and success revolve around luck. On the journey to riches, you must get rid of a mindset like this one, always questioning what other people are doing that you aren't, and blaming your negligence on luck. The game is even for everyone, and even those born from poor backgrounds have the same chance as a rich kid. This kind of mindset that you aren't lucky is the kind that keeps you at the bottom forever. Scarcity mindset will make you accuse others of being unlucky, and sometimes you'll even lower your chances of success. Do your due diligence and stay truthful to yourself even when you fail. Instead of finding excuses, try again and again until it works out. 8. They speak mostly about comparison. When it comes to bad speech habits, comparison could be considered as a close cousin to complaining. Most poor people indulge in not knowing how detrimental it is to their mental state. You'll hear them comparing their success to their other mates, additionally blaming their lack of success on their background or something else. While a rich person never compares their lives to anyone else, they take whatever life has handed to them and try to make the best of it. By doing so, they allow themselves to tune their minds towards positive thinking. In return, they end up creating things and building opportunities for themselves and others. To get away from this habit, you must realize that life isn't fair to any of us. Instead, focus on utilizing whatever you've been given in your life. 9. Poor people say, if you want something done right, you have to do it yourself. Unlike the rich, poor people are big believers in the do-it-yourself notion whenever you want results. They claim that nothing tasked to someone else will ever yield results while taking up all the tasks themselves. In a typical startup owned by a poor person, you'll find that even after 5 years, he's the only employee, not realizing that you cannot be everything in the long run and still achieve ultimate business success. You have to release some of the tasks to people who know what they are doing. Maybe that is the secret ingredient the rich people add to their businesses, and that makes them a success. 10. Rich people talk investment. Whenever you come around rich folks, you'll find that they're always talking about their investments. They're unafraid that their friends might steal their ideas and run away with them. Unlike poor people who are very secretive about the things they invest in, thus missing out on the chance of getting free advice from their family and friends. This is where the rich get insight on some changes they could make on their investment that make them unique and successful. The takeaway today is that rich people speak positively. They are more optimistic than the average man. Do you talk like a rich person or a poor person? The good thing is, no matter what side you fall on, it's never too late to talk rich. Realize what parts of your speech are crippling your mindset and refrain from them, because ultimately what you say unconsciously feeds your thoughts. So Thank you all so much for watching, and before you go, remember to subscribe to the channel and leave a like for that YouTube algorithm. With that being said, have a great day and see you all in the next one.